Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm so excited to be doing this glam jeweled skull. I've been wanting to do one of these for so long, and I'll link the few artists that inspired me down below. So I went ahead and I already applied my brows and my face makeup, and now moving on. You guys know my favorite thing to use is the NYX Wonder Pencil. For me, this is just the easiest thing to use to sketch out and kind of create an outline of exactly where I want the colors to go and where I'm going to paint. And just to solidify those lines, I'm going to be taking the ABH Brow Wiz in the shade Dark Brown and basically outlining every line I created with the concealer, just so I know exactly where I'm going to be painting and what's going to kind of start the darkness and what's going to create that gradient effect. For brushes, I kind of went back and forth between my Sigma Beauty brushes and just regular arts and crafts brushes, so you can use whatever works best for you. Grabbing my Sigma Sculpt palette, this is going to be the palette that I go back and forth with. First, I'm going to be taking the two shades, Throwing Shade and Faking It, and basically applying that just in the hollows of my cheek, in my jawline, on my temples. I also apply a little bit on my nose, so I kind of get a general idea of what's going to be looking like sunken in and what's going to be standing out. So now grabbing the shade Hollow, I'm going to start placing that on my cheek, on those lines that we created. This is going to start initiating that sunken in skull-like look. So I'm basically just using like a shader brush and really just going to start applying that, laying that down, and making the darkest part on the outside of the lines and then blending it out so it comes lighter on the inside. I hope that makes sense. You can see it. You can see what I'm doing. For the most part, this is a pretty easy look to create. I think like even if you had like powder products or cream products, you can get it done. The only thing is it's just a lot of blending. Now I'm going to be grabbing my Snazaroo water activated black face paint, and I'm going to start outlining the lines. So grabbing a flat, basically just like a flat painting brush, I'm going to start pulling out the black and start blending that in with a shader brush. And now grabbing a flat brush that's a little bit smaller than the first one that I used, I'm going to start underlining my under eyes, and then connecting it with the lines I created on my jaw to create more of that like skull effect. And don't forget to outline your nose. So I'm going to be creating like kind of like that teardrop effect, and then applying the black on the outside and then pulling it inward, again creating that very gradient ombre effect. And now for the teeth, I'm going to be taking the same Snazaroo face paint and a lip brush, and I'm going to start in the center and basically create lines pulling outward from the lips. And as the lines were going further out, I started to squiggle them and pull them out further, and the ones at the end, I connected them to my cheeks. And then I'm going to be taking a pencil brush and the Wet n Wild paint palette, and I'm going to just be grabbing like a basic neutral brown color and creating like super thin lines around the under eyes and around the nose. For my forehead, I kind of just I definitely grew them. I drew some basic squiggly lines, kind of going off from the center because I knew I wanted to put a jewel there. Now I'll be taking my Mehron Clown White face paint and another lip brush, and now I'm going to start creating the teeth. So just going in between those black lines and pulling it outward, and I also use my finger just to like easily blend those lines outward and create more of a seamless blend. With the same brush and the same paint, I'm going to be going along the hollows and basically cleaning up and accentuating any of the hollow effect that we created. So that'd be like underneath as well as on top. And in between the nose. Going back to the forehead, I'm going to be grabbing that hollow shade from the Sigma Sculpt palette and just smudging out those lines I created. I didn't like the way they were looking, so I decided to grab some more black face paint and just connect those lines to the sides of my eyebrows and kind of just smoking that entire area out. Moving on to the eyes, I mean, you could totally leave the eyes bare or just add some lashes, but I wanted something a little extra. So grabbing that middle shade from the Sculpt Sigma palette, I'm going to start putting that in my crease, and then grabbing the darker shade, I'm going to start adding that in my crease as well and kind of pulling it out and creating a smoky effect. I wanted to add some glitter to my lid, so I started off with the Wet n Wild liquid eyeshadow in the shade Rich Witch, and then I moved on to the NYX Glitter Goals liner in the shade Zodiac Queen. And then I just took like a basic black eyeshadow and a smudger brush, and I started smoking out the eyes and pulling it outward. And then I just made sure everything was super blended and as seamless as possible. Then I took my NYX Matte Black Liquid Liner. This is my favorite liquid liner if you want something like super intense and really black and one that lasts really long. And I created a wing, and then taking my Lily Lashes XXX Mascara, I applied that to my lashes, and then for fake lashes, I'm going to be using the Baddie B Lashes in the style Baddie. And then I just took my Urban Decay Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade 0 and applied that to my lower lash line, and then used some more black shadow and smoked everything out. Now grabbing whatever highlighters you have on hand, this is literally just what I had sitting on my vanity, I'm going to be highlighting my cheekbones just a little bit. Now I'll be taking that same smudger brush I used on my eyes and this shade Hollow from the Sculpt palette. I'm going to be running that in between the teeth, again just to create a more seamless blended effect. And then going back in with the same sculpting brush we used earlier, I'm going to go ahead and bronze and sculpt my jaw and my neck, and I created a pretty intense line going down the middle of my neck to create more of a sculpted skull-like look. Now for the fun part, I'm going to be taking a bunch of jewels and my House of Lashes lash glue. You can totally use spirit gum to adhere these jewels, but for me lash glue worked just as fine and I won't need some intense remover for it. I'll just be able to use soap and water and they'll peel right off. I didn't have any rhyme or reason to how I was gluing on these stones. I was kind of just putting a few on, and then whatever I did on one side I did to the other. And for smaller stones, I basically just applied the lash glue directly to my face and then used some tweezers and put the little ones on. For the mouth part, I kind of wanted bigger jewels, so I do wish I would have gotten like more, I guess, like different shaped ones or bigger or brighter ones, but this is all I had, so I just kind of made it work. To create the effect of smaller stones, I just grabbed the ABH Potion glitter and I started using like some glitter glue and basically just applying that in little sections to create the illusion of like small stones. So after popping in my white contacts, I really wanted a pretty jewel for my forehead, so I just grabbed some pliers, I broke off the edges of this necklace, and then I first went in with the lash glue on the stone, but then I realized that it was pretty heavy, so I applied some lash glue to my skin directly, laid it down, and then I basically just pressed it down and I waited until it was fully dry. And then after popping on a few more stones, I shook out my hair, and that's pretty much it for this look. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you guys recreate this look, I would love if you guys were to post it on social and tag me. I'll have all my links down below. And if you liked the video, please drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and thank you guys so much for watching.